Welcome to my micro bakery journey. I'm just at the beginning of this exciting adventure, starting a bakery right from my home. There's so much to figure out, applying for permits, licenses, recipe testing, building a website, tracking expenses, and everything in between, and I can't wait to share each step with you. Starting something like this can feel overwhelming, but it's also so rewarding. I'll take you behind the scenes as I navigate all the little details, from perfecting recipes to learning how to manage a small business. I'm learning as I go, and I hope these videos can answer some of your questions or even inspire you to start your own bakery journey. Whether you're here for tips, ideas, or just to see what it's like to build a micro bakery from scratch, I am so excited to have you along for the ride. Let's figure this out together. Here's to the start of something amazing. Let's get baking. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something super important for anyone thinking about starting a small food business from home, the cottage food permit. In my previous video, I shared that thanks to California cottage food law, I can now run a micro bakery out of my home. If you've ever thought about selling your homemade cookies, bread, or other treats, this video is for you. I'm going to break it down step by step, and I'm going to share the top 10 things you must know before applying for a cottage food permit. First, let me explain that a cottage food permit is a license that lets you legally make and sell certain foods from your home kitchen. It's perfect for small home-based businesses because it allows you to skip the expense of renting a commercial kitchen. Commercial kitchens are an option for those who want to open a small baking business. However, there are some downsides. Depending on where you live, you may not have access to a commercial kitchen. The costs can be pretty high, and if you can find a kitchen to rent, you will have to share the space with other food preparers. Running a bakery business out of your home is essentially free. You don't have to pay extra because you are already either paying a mortgage or rent. You can bake when you want on your own time. It is very convenient. These permits are designed to keep things safe for your customers while giving you the chance to turn your passion for baking or cooking into a business. I will preface this by sharing the information I'm providing you is for the state of California. Things might be a little different for your state, so be sure to check your state's guidelines. Also, if you have questions about this topic or anything I share, leave them in the comments and I'm happy to respond. The first item I want to talk about are the types of permits available. There are usually two types of permits you can apply for. The first is a Class A permit. This is for direct-to-consumer sales only. That means you can sell at farmers markets, pop-ups, or even directly to friends and family. You don't need a kitchen inspection for this. You just need to register with your local health department. In California, you are required to take and pass a food handler course and provide a certificate of completion. I was able to find a list of food handler programs that offered online courses and certificates. I went with AAA Food Handler and only paid less than $10 for the course and certificate. There is also a cost associated with the permit. For a Class A, when I applied in my county, I paid $186. The second permit is the Class B permit. This one allows for direct-to-consumer and indirect sales. So you can sell to restaurants, cafes, or grocery stores in addition to selling directly to customers. This one does require a health inspection of your home kitchen, and you will also need to do the food handler certificate. And for my county, the Class B permit costs $486. Each state may have different names or rules for these permits, so be sure to check your local guidelines. Number 2, limitations of a cottage food permit. As amazing as a cottage food permit is, there are a few limitations to be aware of. Where you can sell. You're often limited to selling within your state. Shipping across state lines isn't usually allowed. There are earning caps. Most states have a limit on how much money you can make each year. For example, in California, the cap was $75,000 for a Class A permit and $150,000 for a Class B. I recently saw that these caps have changed, and the cap for California has increased increased to just over $83,000 for permit A and $167,000 for permit B. So depending on when you're watching this video, these numbers may have changed, so just double check and check for your state as well. And you can only make items in your home kitchen. All your food must be prepared in your home kitchen. If you move or start using a different kitchen, you'll need to update your permit. Number 3, approved foods. Now, this is the fun part. This is all the wonderful items that you can make and sell. The approved foods are usually considered low risk, meaning they don't need refrigeration to stay safe. They are shelf stable. Examples of approved foods are breads, cookies, cakes, jams, jellies, some candy and fudge, granola, trail mix, some dry goods, and some kinds of nuts and popcorns. However, I will share that you have to be careful in the ingredients you use for some of these breads. When I applied, I had listed pumpkin bread, and that is not okay for my county. So just be mindful of that. Even though it says breads, there are some ingredients that may not be approved. Number 4, non-approved foods. Unfortunately, not all foods are allowed under a cottage food permit. High-risk foods that need refrigeration or strict temperature control are usually off limits. These include cheesecakes, cream pies, custards, salsas, meat products, and dairy-heavy products like milk-based soups. So you might have to make some adjustments to your menu items. For me, I love to put cream cheese icing on my cinnamon rolls. Cream cheese is not an approved list for California, so I've had to adapt my recipe to make sure that my items meet the requirements. And so you might have to tweak your recipes, but don't let that discourage you. There's a lot of different ideas and options online. And if you have questions about that, just leave those in the comments and I'm happy to help. Number 5 is labeling requirements. Every item you sell needs to be labeled properly. This helps customers know exactly what they're buying, and depending on your state, these label requirements might be different. But for California, they must include a statement that the food is made in a home kitchen. They're very specific about the font size for this as well. It must include a list of ingredients and allergens, the net weight or volume of the product, contact info, and for me, I also have to display my permit or license number. This not only keeps you compliant, but it also builds trust with your customers. Number 6, employee limitations. In California, I am allowed to hire one employee that does not currently reside in my home. This may be different state to state, so be sure to check the cottage food permit law in your state. Of course, having an employee will require that I comply with California labor laws. I'm not there yet, but one day if I do end up hiring an employee, I will share that process with you as well. Number 7, inspections. I had mentioned earlier for the permit A, which is what I applied for, I am not required to have a home inspection. But if you have that second permit, the permit B, you may need to pass a health inspection before you start selling. For California, depending on the type of permit you apply for in your state's rules, your home kitchen might need to pass a health inspection before you start selling. In California, for the Class A permit, you do not need to have a home inspection. Instead, you must fill out a checklist stating that you are complying with the health department and how you run your home baking business. When I applied for my permit, I was assigned a health inspector in my county, and I've already communicated with her a couple of times. She's been super helpful, and so far the experience has been a positive one. Number 8, zoning and local rules. Some cities or counties have their own zoning restrictions for home businesses. For example, they might limit how many customers can pick up food from your house or how much delivery traffic you can have. Check with your local government to make sure you're good to go. For my city, there are certain requirements. They do not allow for large signs to be displayed. They have specifications I must follow listed on this form. One of the things that kind of bummed me out was specifically for my city, I can't have any additional structures on my property intended for the business. So I don't know if you follow other micro bakers who do porch pickups, and some people have just these really cute like sheds or greenhouses that they've purchased and decorated, and that's how they have all of their items for customers to pick up. That's something I can't do in my city, so I have to be a little creative in how I am going to run my porch pickup. I do have some ideas, so just don't let these limitations discourage you. There's so much information and examples of things that you can do to adjust, your plan to make sure that you are following the guidelines and the rules. Number 9, liability protections. So because cottage food businesses are small scale, you might not have liability protections like larger businesses do. It is a very smart idea to get business insurance to protect yourself in case anything goes wrong. This one was a bit tricky for me. I wasn't quite sure if I should reach out to my current homeowner's insurance, but while listening to a few podcasts, I learned that there are some options out there. And the one that I chose is Flip Insurance, known as Food Liability Insurance Program. I plan to start on the 1st of next month, as I intend to officially launch my business in February, and the quote I was given was for $34.95 a month. You do have the option to pay a yearly payment, but at this time I feel that month to month is more feasible for where I currently am in my business. All right, number 10, limited scaling. So if your business takes off and you're ready to expand, that's amazing, but once you've hit your state's income cap or want to sell more types of food, you'll need to switch to a commercial kitchen setup and apply for a different license. Think of it as leveling up. For me, I will continue to run my business with a Class A permit. When I feel it is time to expand, I will reach out to local coffee shops and businesses and try to partner up with them so that I can apply for the Class B permit. If I expand past that, then it would be absolutely amazing to own my own place. I probably wouldn't start with a storefront, but I would look into renting a studio or other type of commercial space. But honestly, who knows where this will take me? All right, so I hope this video gave you a clear understanding of what a cottage food permit is and how it works. If you've been dreaming about starting your own food business from home, this is the perfect place to begin. Just remember to follow your state's rules and have fun with it. If you're ever unsure about something, reach out to your local health department or Cottage Food Association for guidance. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for tips and tricks on baking, delicious recipes, travel vlogs, and of course, micro bakery content. And if you have any questions about my experience applying and getting approved for a cottage food permit in California, drop them in the comments. Next week, I hope to share with you my process for applying for a business license. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a sweet day.